Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by healthy, albeit shameful, help with pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And more.
And more. We're going to talk about a game that we've been playing kind of off and on, something we've been experimenting with that we've been enjoying very much. It's a game called Murky Divers, developed by Embers and published by Oro Interactive. It's one of those kind of looter games, reminiscent of Lethal Company. I guess Lethal Company is the most well-known of that.
And Sketchy's Contract, which is another one that we've played and I believe talked about.
Yeah, but Murky Divers is one of those games, but in this one, you work for a pharmaceutical company where all of their experiments and data are left at these underwater stations, and they send you in to kind of dispose of all the evidence of their experiments so that the police don't find it all and get the pharmaceutical company in trouble.
Right. We don't want the police to find and the media to find out that our vaccines weren't working properly. So,
so like in that respect, it doesn't like shove it in your face, that whole idea, but it's there for you to decipher yourself. And when everything started coming together and things started clicking as to like what we're doing and who we're working for, we were like, oh.
we see what we're doing now. Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, and it's a very goofy game. The physics and everything and the idea of it.
And we're like little squid people, so...
I love the art style, and what you're doing is you're taking this sub, right? You're in a submarine that you all have to work together to operate. So like somebody's sitting there on a radar, and blips will come up as the sub is chugging along, and each blip that comes up has a code on it, like a 2 or 3 letter / number code.
Yeah, a letter followed by a number.
And then you have another station for someone to sit at that has like a screen in which they can decipher what that code represents, whether it be the police or a kraken or Loch Ness monster, or maybe it's like body parts or something that you utilize, because when you're at these sites and whatnot, you get paid based on the amount of evidence that you collect and dispose of. And most of that evidence consists of body parts, right?
Right.
So if you find body parts blip up on the radar, you want to try and grab it with your net. You want to try and run into it so that you can, once you get to a station, to go dive down and search for more loot. You could take stuff out of the net and you can dispose of it and you get paid for it. There's also a station for a person to steer the ship, which they can't see anything. All they see is a compass, a giant compass, and they steer the ship in whatever direction the person operating the radar tells them to do. Like wherever they tell them to go, like go more north or go west, or to avoid things or to pick up things. There's another station for a person operating the speed of the submarine, which is an important role because this submarine, it puts off sound. And the faster you go, the more sound it produces, and thus attracting some things that you don't want to be attracting.
Potential bogeys that you don't want coming your way. And then you get an audio cue that is panic-inducing.
If you get close, Leviathan or Loch Ness or whatever the beastie might be, you start hearing like this loud growling or grumbling sound that's getting closer and closer, and then panic sets in, and you're like punch it, and you try to go as fast as you can to try to escape these things.
The radar person's yelling at you to turn south, and you're trying to hightail it south. Meanwhile, another bogey's coming in from the south, and you're like, what is that? So now the other person's trying to figure out what that is. Is it bad? Then you hear another and you go, ah!
So that whole setup right from the get-go is just pure chaos, trying to get to a station to park it up at, because obviously you want to grab a little bit of loot while you're out and about trying to look for a station, but at the same time you're trying to avoid so many things and try not to get hit, because every time your submarine gets hit by one of these creatures, you lose a lot of money. So obviously you need that money so you can buy upgrades for your submarine, or you can buy gear for going into stations, such as like flashlights.
Or you can buy missiles so that your crewmates will accidentally just shoot the missile off into the distance without actually shooting at anything.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you have a place in which to load a missile. Now, the missile is directional and is not heat-seeking or anything. So once you put it in, it just shoots straight out of the submarine. So you got to make sure that you're facing whatever the threat is to be able to take it out. Now, we wanted to experiment with it because we hadn't used a missile before. So you bought a missile, and I picked it up, and I thought, oh, I'm going to load this into the missile bay, and then we can shoot it whenever we're ready. But no, it doesn't. We found out it doesn't work like that. As soon as you load it in, it fires. It shoots out into nothingness, and I'm like, well, oops.
So, Merle had lost his missile privileges until a later notice when I gave them another chance.
Which we did hit something.
We were successful. I think it was a Leviathan, maybe, that we took out that time. But you were anxious to use it.
Yeah, I really wanted to get a good hit in, and finally got it. It's very satisfying. Okay, so after you find the station on the radar and you park it up, you hit a lever and it starts the looting session, which you only have like 8 minutes. So like as soon as you stop there, you have 8 minutes until the police come, and you have to get out of the ship, dive down into the station, which you only have a little bit of oxygen, so you can't be in there too long, and everything's dark, so you gotta buy a flashlight mod to put on your helmet so that you can see. You have all these other tools that you can utilize, like a shopping cart can hold a whole bunch of different stuff in it. There's tasers so that you can fight off monsters that try to hunt you down while you're trying to...
You can stun them temporarily.
Yeah. So you can't really take anything out. You can stun them, or you could just simply try to avoid them and run away.
Some are easier than others.
It does get pretty crazy pretty quickly, depending on what kind of monsters are present. And some of them, like we've gotten used to, been able to work around. Some of them are absolutely terrifying to try and circumvent, and almost impossible because they just hound you. I remember this one time you had died in this level, and it was just me and our other friend left, and I was diving down trying to find some more body parts in which or evidence to dispose of, and I came across this TV.
Yeah. I figured this is where you're going with it.
Yeah. So I go into that room, I see this TV, it's kind of like moving around on its own. And then when I peek into the room, the TV turns around and faces me, and then it starts creating like all this sound and getting all bright and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then this horrifying creature just starts following me. It's like making me hallucinate or something, and I'm seeing like all these TVs pop up all around me, and this creature's chasing me. It's like a long snake thing with this really creepy, like grudge-esque face. it's chasing me around, and I'm screaming, and I'm trying to get out of the place, and I'm getting lost and turned around, and I'm yelling for our other buddy to see if he's still alive, because I'm like, if he's dead, I'm getting the heck out of here, because I can't deal with this. And I couldn't escape the thing. It was going to follow me to the ends of the earth, because I could not get away from it. Even when I went inside the sub, it could go through walls. And it went into the sub, and I was trying to avoid it and trying to like swim around it until I went back outside again. It was absolutely horrifying.
It was super entertaining from a spectating point of view to be able to watch you and our buddy and just kind of flip back and forth every so often. And if I had the stuff to record, it would have been absolutely great. Because it's like you're out there screaming your head off, wondering where he is, and he is keeping as quiet as a church mouse. He's just like, nope, whatever has him doesn't have me. I'm not here. You're yelling, help me, like, come get this, and he goes, nope.
Nope.
I'm safe, he's not.
Oh man, yeah, that was bad. It was very tough trying to deal with that. There's other creatures too. You'll have to play it yourself to see some of these creatures, but good lord, it is something else trying to deal with all the creatures that spawn in those stations, and every time it's difficult because you're very limited on time. 8 minutes flies by very quick. And you're trying to clear out this place as quickly as you can, like get all the evidence you can and dispose of it. And when the police come, it's really loud. Like it's like a big event.
Yeah. And in the distance. Yeah, I know. It's like an Inception theme going on. And all you see is the flash of blue and red. And if you look out in the distance of the waters, in the dark, murky waters, you see just this star appearing, just getting closer and closer, and you're like, gotta go.
And the timer's beeping, and people are yelling, and everybody's panicking, like, get back to the
Pandemonium.
Yeah, it gets absolutely crazy.
I left you two high and dry. Apparently, I didn't see you guys. Y'all are there,
I do remember that,
screaming, and I was like, I didn't hear shit, so I'm out. I waited, and nothing. Not a peep.
It was time to go, right? I had this one helmet mod thing that allowed me to see where my teammates were at all times. I saw that Locke was on the sub already. I saw my other buddy, he was having trouble, like he couldn't figure out his way out of the station. So I went down in to grab him, and I was like, come on, follow me. And we only had like a minute left, and he starts following me, and we get out just in time. We have like 30 seconds left. So we start getting to the submarine, and yeah, it's down like sub 20 seconds. And we're almost to the door, and I'm like, there it is. Just get to the door. We're almost there. And our buddy starts saying like, oh, I can't believe we made it. And then as soon as he says that, Locke pulls the lever to leave, and he ditches us.
I didn't hear you. I called out for you guys. I heard.
Oh man, it was so heartbreaking. We were like, oh, we can't believe we made this. And then it left. Oh man. Yeah. It's like the whole game, it's just like you said, it's absolute pandemonium from the get-go. Like as soon as you get into the game, finding the station is pandemonium. The station itself is pandemonium. Escaping
there's
the
not a
station
moment of relaxation.
Yeah, it's just chaos all the way through, but it's so fun. Like we get an absolute kick out of it because it's randomly generated too, so it's always different. The stations are always different on the inside, and it's like when you get into the station, something that like makes you really uncomfortable is the fact that Some of these pathways are really narrow. It seems like you barely fit through them. So it gets like very claustrophobic and uncomfortable. And then if you have a monster, just you turn a corner and a monster's right there, and you just start screaming and panicking and trying to back out the way you came in with like no room to spare. It's absolutely terrifying.
I'm amazed at how quickly you and our buddy can get in and out of that place, because if I go more than 3 rooms away, I'm lost. I no longer know where I am. I have to be following one of you guys because I will get lost, and it can be so, because there are further down. I don't know if you know how far down this goes, but even outside of the map, I noticed one of the other maps that we went to that there's a way out and around and down the side, and there were like lasers and stuff, and I was like, what is that? And I can only imagine, like, we've only probably gotten on the cusp of what all dangers there are.
Also, like something we've been experimenting with is like when you do upgrades to your submarine, like you can do all kinds of upgrades. How fast it goes, how good it is at turning, the range of your radar. You could upgrade your net to hold more goodies. Another thing is the depth in which you can dive. You can upgrade the depth so you go deeper and deeper, which I think it's safe to assume that there's bigger rewards the deeper you go, but also it gets more difficult. We're supposing that would make sense. We've only gone like one upgrade to depth, so we don't have much experience with that. But as far as the end of the round goes, after you like get as much evidence as you can, what's determined on like the end of your run, right? It's not the amount of money you get, but the amount of infamy. Like if you don't collect enough evidence from the site and dispose of it, you get stars, right? And once you get up to, 5 stars, then that's the end of your run because you get arrested by the police. There's a little vending machine there that you can like buy a donut to kind of pay off the police to lose a star, but it's really expensive. But what you want to do is you want to avoid getting up to 5 stars. And yeah, you get more and more stars the more evidence you leave behind, or the more
the people die. If people die and you forget to grab their bodies, yeah.
So there's all kinds of things that will give you stars. And yeah, we haven't had very long runs as of yet because we're learning the ropes, and it's pretty tough at first to wrap your head around and get used to the chaos and how quick you have to act constantly. You can't waste a second. You just gotta go balls to the wall as soon as you step out of that sub. But I love the game. I definitely want to play more of it. I want to get more people turned on to it. It's very good, and it's very highly rated on Steam. So if you get a chance, check it out. Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.